All right, we're back again. HuntFishTravel Podcast. I am your hostess, Carrie Z. I'm here with Jared.
Yes.
With the last name I am not going to try and pronounce. We're still here at Woodland Resort in North Dakota at Devil's Lake because we're still not fishing. So we're still doing some of these mini interviews because these guys have generously donated their time and we cannot be thankful enough. So, Jared, with the last name I cannot pronounce.
It's Pokrzywinski. Pokrzywinski. Not what it sounds like, or not what it looks like, but yeah. Pokrzywinski.
I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So, are you originally from this area?
I'm from the area, yeah. Well, I was born and raised in Grand Forks, which is just 90 miles up the road.
Okay.
My parents have always had a place here. You know, we came here on weekends and whatever. But I've lived here pretty much my whole adult life. And yeah, I hunt, fish, and travel as well. But I do call Devil's Lake home.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
What made you want to become a fishing guide?
Well, it's kind of nice getting paid to fish. You know, that was kind of my first thing. I'm really just a part-time guide. I do some other stuff around the community, but you know, I fish almost every day, and I thought, you know what, if I can help somebody out and get them on the water, might as well get paid to do it. You know,
Hallelujah.
it's just
Right?
a passion I've always had, and yeah, I love getting people on the water and teaching them about Devil's Lake. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
What do you think is the number one fish that you take people out to guide for?
In the summertime, it's walleye. In the wintertime, it's perch. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Yep.
What about northern pike? Does anybody ever ask you to take them out for northern pike?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do they?
Yeah, and a lot of times what we'll do, you know, if we've got a limit of walleyes or even perch in the wintertime, guys they want to go target some pike. So
Really?
I love it. It might be one of my favorites to target,
Really?
especially in the wintertime. I love
Why?
tip-up fishing.
Yeah,
I love it.
me too.
And I mean, what's easier than that? And we can just absolutely hammer the pike. And it's easy. I mean, it's easy fishing, and you know, I've got 3 young kids at home, and if they had their choice, they would just sit around and watch tip-ups all day, and they'd love it. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
So,
I do
yeah.
like northern pike too.
Yeah.
So, are you using artificial or live bait with your tip-ups?
Well, with tip-ups, I pretty much my number one bait is smelt. I use frozen smelt.
For real?
Yep, for real. For real. We actually catch our own. We go out in Lake Sakakawea, and we were just out actually 2 weeks ago.
Lake what?
Lake Sakakawea. It's actually the biggest lake in North Dakota. So it's part of the Missouri River system.
Okay.
And they've got all kinds of... The number one bait for walleyes in that lake is smelt. And they spawn in the spring of the year. And you can go out at night with flashlights, headlamps, and nets and buckets and go catch smelt.
So it's so funny.
Yeah.
Because there was just a big article the other day, growing up.
Yep.
You know, you always remember, I'm sure up here it was probably the same thing.
Yep.
Down on Lake Michigan, you know, one of my fondest memories was always being little girls. We were always in the back of my dad's like Shenova.
Nice.
And we'd go down the Port of Milwaukee and, you know, it would just be a line of fishermen with the sea nets and, you know,
Yes.
it would just... You'd wait until dark,
Yep.
and everybody all you smelled was like beer and hot dogs, and
Right
everybody had
on.
their little like campfires or whatever.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
you're like all cold and huddled in the
Yes.
trunk.
Yep.
And then you were just waiting for that first like net to come up.
That's awesome.
We got fish or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So. I know we're talking about like walleyes and perch, and that's the whole big thing up in Devil's Lake. But
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about smelt because
Sure.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So we actually don't have smelt in the system.
Right.
So that's why we have to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
To go find them. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a riot to catch them, right? It's
Right.
at night and you're
But
waiting.
they're legal
in
to
deep
use
water.
as bait here.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So, and we actually eat them too. So
Yeah.
especially
Smelt
when
fries
they're
are the
fresh,
best.
we have.
They're
Yeah, we
the
just had
best.
one last weekend. We were actually out paddlefish snagging, and that weekend that we go paddlefish snagging, we have a big smelt fry. And whatever we don't eat, we use for bait the rest of the year. Just freeze them and use them for bait. So, yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they work great. And a lot of times I'll put, depending on the size, we caught some big ones this year, like really good size ones. And how I do it for tip-ups is thaw them out, obviously, because we freeze them. But I actually take my hook off and then stuff it through the middle, right in the center, and then I rehook my leader. Just use a leader with a clip, and I just dangle that underneath the tip up. And
do you think it's the oils
awesome.
Maybe that attract them? The smell?
Yeah, it could be. That's part of it for sure. And just, I mean, it's just a perfect size bait for a good sized pike. So
That's amazing.
But I've heard people using hot dogs. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, we totally.
Yep. I mean, that's super easy to do. In fact, I've caught several pike throughout the years
They're
that
just
have
the perfect bite
They
size.
have they have hot dogs in their belly. They've stolen someone else's, and but yeah. So, but as far as artificials go, I've never tried it. I don't know if it'll work or not, to be honest with you, but maybe it's something I'll have to try.
What if somebody said, "I heard you on the HuntFishTravel Podcast, and I want to come up and catch smelt and then go pike fishing"?
Right on. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not a guide for the smelt stuff, but
Because I kind of want to do.
Yeah, right. I know it's a blast, but the hard part is they only run for like a couple weeks.
That's what I was right.
You know, so you kind of got to know it's all water temperature
Yeah.
dependent, and I feel like it has something to do with the moon or something too. I'm not really sure. I'm not a biologist, but it just seems like when all the ingredients come together, it's like go time. You know,
That's
and
crazy.
it's usually roughly the same time of year, like early May, but or late April, but it kind of depends on ice off and all that stuff too. So, but it's an absolute blast.
That's neat.
And it's only, I mean, to get to Skakwe, it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from here. So it's not like right in our backyard, but they're there.
Totally want to do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And then, like I said, we kind of tie that in with paddle fishing because that always opens the first weekend of May. I don't know if you've ever caught a paddlefish, but that's not a species that's around here, but it's an absolute riot.
I want to say, and I don't have the regulations in front of me, but I think they're on the do not catch list in Wisconsin. So
sure,
never
could
have.
be, yeah. And there's very few water systems they're in. So.
Right.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, super fun.
There's a lot
I
to
like
do.
to travel and kind of like you guys, just try
There's
new
a lot
things.
to do in North Dakota. There really is.
It's pretty endless, honestly. As far as outdoor stuff, like we've almost got it all. I would say, you know. I'm trying to think of something we don't have. I suppose we don't have sharks, which is actually a plus. You know, you don't have to worry about getting eaten
Like
when you're
nothing
swimming.
here wants to really kill you except the air.
Well, mosquitoes, we do have those. You know, it's kind of our state.
They're
bird,
like the
but,
size of the ducks.
Pretty much, yeah. But that's the only kind of negative. But then it does rain and snow in May, but it happens.
Yes, welcome to the Midwest.
So
Upper Midwest,
yeah, 100 degrees last week and 30 degrees this week. So it is what it is.
I know. I think that's Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota.
That's Mother Nature.
I don't know if you can throw Illinois in there. Probably not.
We don't care about Illinois,
No.
do we?
No. Maybe Iowa sometimes if we're feeling generous.
No, I love it. Awesome.
No, I do. I am really enjoying this trip, even though we're not fishing. I went up this morning and just kind of bopped around the town a little bit.
Yeah.
And found some donuts and
Awesome.
cool coffee place and stuff. And I said I was like, I really would like to come back up here and bring my boat and just kind of tool around in the summer.
Yep.
Do a lot of people bring boats or do they rent them up here?
There's not a lot of rental boats.
No?
Where we're at, though,
Oh my
luckily,
God, what a missed opportunity.
I know, right? But Woodland Resort obviously has some great opportunities they rent both regular boats, they got trackers, and then they have pontoons that they rent too. Some fishing pontoons, and it's great. I think the casino has some, and that's it. So there's just not a lot of options, yeah.
Well, liability insurance.
There is there's a lot of stuff to hit out here. I'll be honest. You kind of got to know. What I do recommend for people who show up their first time ever, seek out a guide for your first time.
Yeah.
Honestly, because this lake fluctuates year to year, and there's just so much stuff. I mean, it's a big flooded farm field, basically, is what it is. And there's a lot of stuff to hit down there, whether it's combines and trucks and grain bins and houses and bars, and it's all underwater. No. So you kind of got to know what you're doing, but we do say, for first time, hire a guide. That way you kind of pick their brain, and most of the guides here are great about that. They know why you're here. You're here to learn the lake. You're here to have a good time, but pick their brain too and just say, hey, where should I go? Where shouldn't I go?
Yeah.
And then get a map. All the map chips are great. But one thing we really recommend for people coming up here, especially your first time, they have satellite imagery of the Devil's Lake Basin here. And kind of one little tip, we use the 1990 map. If you can find that for Lowrance or Humminbird or any of them, really, they have an aerial image of the 1990 map. That's the best one.
Really? Okay.
Yep, it shows like all the, like I said, the stuff that's underwater, the grain bins, the barns, the houses, they're still standing in 1990, and you kind of know where to either avoid or where to go fish, because those farmyards, you know, all those lilacs, those trees, they're all still there, but they're like 20 feet underwater, and it's perfect fish habitat.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
Yeah, pretty neat.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's like, yesterday I was saying it's like a big aquarium.
Yeah,
you know, like
100%.
you have an aquarium where you buy the little castles and you buy the little houses and you put it in the aquarium. It's literally like an aquarium out there with the fish.
It is.
Perfect.
It's
amazing.
Yeah, you kind of got to, like I said, there are some of those places you want to avoid because you can hit something, but at the same time, they're also, it's amazing fishing. So.
Yeah, I suppose if you're investing $80,000 in some of these boats, you probably don't want the Yahoo from Illinois to come up here and tool around. And
I mean, you can. It's just you gotta like
no,
I said.
I'm actually being serious because.
No, it can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just any body of water, but you do. And ask the bait shops, right? You ask the hotels. They're really good about telling you where to go, where not to go.
I'm totally headed
in the wintertime's the same way. I mean, there's definitely places you can go and there's places you can't go. So. And that's the hard part, too, about winter fishing here, which makes it a lot of fun for someone like me who likes to explore. There's so much water to explore, but where do you start?
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of where you got to kind of pick the brains of these people who live here, and that's the cool part. So. I
think that was my challenge originally when I did plan out my tri-state DIY ice fishing trip a couple years ago. I looked at this lake and I was like, where do I even go?
Exactly.
I have a day.
Yeah, it's tough.
I have a day.
Yeah, how do you break down 120,000 acres
literally,
in a day?
And I'm like, I guess I'll just, I'll go here.
Yep.
And hope it's fishable.
Yeah. The good part about it is if you take a map, if you take your Navionics or some sort of map, or even Google Maps. The cool part of Google Maps too, I'll mention this, you can go back in years or on Google Earth. And you can kind of look at the map, and I usually use two screens. I have the current screen here, and then I'll take my Google Maps and Google Earth, slide it down to like the 90s, like I said. You kind of compare, okay, this was underwater here, and according to this map, it's this depth. Might be something good to try. And if it looks fishy in this lake, it usually is fishy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it looks good, it is good for the most part. So that's something to look at when you're... And community spots, like, they're community spots for a reason, right? Like, there's fish there, at some point. So that's kind of how I like to break it down. But honestly, the best way to do it is pick up the phone. That's how guys around here are successful. They're always talking because these fish move. My grandpa said the fish have fins, not mortgages, right? So it's good to have
the fish have fins, not mortgages.
Yeah. So they're always
perfect.
moving. So it's good to talk to somebody who's on the fish, and that's why hiring a guide is so important.
Yeah, and you're not the first one to ever say that. Like in the past, there not even just new locations. Even when you get a new boat, period, people have said, Carrie, Joe Henry, who works with some of the North Dakota stuff, and
he's with Lake of the Woods, right? Yep.
Right.
Yep.
He suggested that I hire somebody who's really familiar with my Garmin and boat, and he's like, just go out with somebody who's really familiar with. They'll show you how to set it up.
Yep.
All the different settings and everything, so that when you're out there and you're not frustrated for 3 hours while you're trying to figure it out, and you're Googling and you're watching YouTubes while you're out there, instead of fishing.
It's a great idea.
You know what I mean? And he's like, it's worth the $200 or whatever.
100% is. And so I actually work here. I work. One of my part-time gigs is I sell boats here at Woodland Marine, and one of the things we offer is whenever we sell a boat or pontoon, we'll offer a couple hours instruction on how to run the boat, number one, and then also how to use the electronics. And we've got some incredible experts in the area. In fact, we've got guys that work here that are also guides, kind of like myself, who use this stuff day in and day out.
Yeah.
And so it's a great thing for us to offer to our clients is how to run that electronics. It's so critical, especially on this lake.
For sure.
Especially on this lake. And that is one of the things people ask is like, okay, if I'm going to do it myself, where do I begin? My number one answer is fish where the fish are, right? So it's one thing every year pretty much I erase all my waypoints. Nobody believes me, but you can ask almost anybody. Those fish move, right? The lake is up and down every year. and I use my electronics for days, sometimes weeks before I start fishing hard.
Right.
Just figure out where those fish are, because it's probably different than last year. So
Totally.
and it's an advantage for out of town people too, because we're all doing the same thing. We're looking for those fish, and there's really no secret. You just got to find fish. You trust your electronics.
Do you get a lot of like wakeboard traffic?
Very little.
Really?
Yeah, very little. In fact, it's kind of something funny I should mention. Warren, the guy who runs the bait shop here, or the boat shop, he's like, maybe that's something we should get into, because there's just not a lot of them around. No. But and there's a bunch of waves, so people aren't worried about the wake, you know, because that can be an issue on some of those smaller lakes. God. The wake, you know.
They're obnoxious.
Out here, we have waves all the time anyway, so. But yeah, no, there's not a lot of that. I mean, Creel Bay here is an awesome bay for just, you know, recreation, so you'll see some of that stuff, but the lake's so big and there's so many nooks and crannies, you can spread out. Like, you can, if you want to fish by yourself, not seeing anybody, you can any day of this year, you know.
I think that's a lot of it. Sometimes it's just the crowding. I don't think fishermen that care that much about the waves and stuff like fish don't care about that stuff. I think it's just more, well, a lot of it is the degradation of the structure and the launches and stuff, but the just obnoxiousness of people being too close and coming in and boats getting swamped, like literally fishing boats getting swamped and stuff.
That's sad.
Obnoxiousness, but
no, it's like I said, you can not see anybody. I mean, it's kind of like,
that's amazing.
It's like Canada, but it's not like Canada. But I mean, if you want to be by yourself and still catch fish, you can. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good recommendation there.
It
honestly. What do you think would be the number one tip, other than like when you first get up here, hire a guide for a couple of hours to show you the ropes? What do you think would be the number one tip you would give? Say I called you up and I'm like, I'm coming up for a week, and what would be the one tip you would give me? I'm bringing my own boat. Yeah. I'm bringing, you know, my smoker craft.
Yep.
And what would be your one tip for me?
Don't start fishing right away. Okay. Drop your boat in and look for fish. Okay. I would say, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people get wrong is they pick a point and they start fishing. And then they don't catch anything for a couple hours. Like, oh, this lake is terrible. Well, that's not really how it works. I mean, it can be. There's certain times of year, don't get me wrong. I want to say like luck. July. Yeah. You just pick a line and go. You're going to catch your limit. Okay. But I would say use your electronics. Number one, this lake is just so good for learning electronics, and then you got to trust them. So drive around, get a lay of the land, a lay of the lake, and don't fish until you see fish. Right. And when you find fish, you're going to catch them. It's just they're hungry. They're, like I said, pretty much if you see them, you're going to catch them. But don't just start blind. Okay, drive around, learn the lake, learn the electronics, and fish. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So, awesome. And some people have a hard time with that. They're, I get the lake, I want to start fishing right away. Well, drive around, enjoy yourself, have a beverage, whatever. Just go learn the lake, and then go.
All right.
So, yep.
And what do you think would be the number one tip you would give somebody if they were coming up here and they said, well, kind of interested in maybe buying a boat?
Yeah.
Since you're, you know? For
sure. Yeah, I mean, again, something rigged with good electronics. But, I mean, you can fish out of anything on this lake. You know, I have a kayak. I kayak fish, right? I have a big pontoon like this. And then I've got a little duck boat. So you can use anything to fish here. It's just rig it with good electronics. And then the other part is I would recommend however you want to fish that way. Okay? You don't have to be stuck into, Devil's Lake, they're only biting on spinners, or Devil's Lake, they're only biting on this. If you prefer pulling cranks or you prefer pitching whatever, you do that. And you can catch them. Just keep searching until you find those fish, and you're going to find them.
Cool.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Awesome. And if people want to get a hold of you because they have questions, where can they learn out more about you? Well,
I'm here representing Devil's Lake Tourism. So actually, so look up devilslakend.com. All right. You'll find my information on there. Or look me up on Facebook, Jared Pokrzywinski. If you want to send me a message, people do all the time. So send me a message on there or look up my cell phone, and I'm more than willing to help.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Cool. All right, now I'm gonna try and stop everything
Yeah.
that I
What are you
got.
guys doing bottom of the boat? Can I get a shot of you up in there?
You betcha. Let me just Jared last name
P.
I can't pronounce.
Yeah, exactly. P12.
Last name. Yeah, P12.
There's 12 letters and starts with a P.
Fishing
Yeah,
guy.
that works.